On today's show, the work of a self-labeled mad scientist. Pete Brautigam creates camp gear out of this precious metal.
High-strength titanium alloy.
We discover a destination on the map, but off the grid. Find out why these remote shelters attract so many people. And Ron Shera helps you escape the snow and cold, at least for a bit, to celebrate under the sun fishing.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill, Millie, and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
You know, it's no secret some would say I'm kind of a gear guy.
You know, your wife has told me you're kind of a hoarder.
In some ways, yes. But that is why Pete and Jordan Brautigam's story and their gear are such curiosities.
Yeah, it's the smaller one.
Not all stories start on day one. Pete Brautigam's begins on frozen water. A lonely hike to a remote island that feels like his own.
No mosquitoes. I'm a guy that loves to camp. Camping's my passion. I like the group trips, but I really find solace in solo trips. I get a lot of my inspiration just sitting by the fire or coming up with solutions.
Answers to his own eternal questions about outdoor gear.
Been frustrated over the years with some of the stuff that's been out there on the market, and there's been gaps in the market. I'm a problem solver. That's what another buddy of mine says. I'm just a problem solver.
Pete got to work.
So these ice anchors, but they also work on land. I shaved 2.5 pounds off of a 10 anchor system. And I did solve another problem. It's a world's only self-tensioning bow saw.
His beauty has been the woods, being outside, but he has also always had this passion for the engineering, for the tooling. All of this that's been going on in his head is finally coming out into Brautigam Expedition Works.
I build expedition grade hardware and saws and you name it out of titanium.
See, Pete and wife Jordan just moved north from Illinois, a place where life looked very different.
If we were to look back let's just say 5 years ago, we were completely different people.
I was a tool designer for the Department of Defense. So I built special tools and machines for the DoD.
Yeah, he had a very good thing going on.
But Pete loved to camp too, specifically in the Boundary Waters.
So we took our very first camping trip to the North Shore in 2012.
One adventure would change Pete's outlook.
There's more to this outdoor story. I used to weigh 440. I solo winter camped at 400 pounds in the Boundary Waters. And I got to the point where 60-inch snowshoes weren't working for me. I'm like, something's got to give.
Beginning of 2019, I decided I'm gonna get my weight off for good. And he said, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. And so he did it, and he's down about 200 from his heaviest, actually. It's like, we just got this spark about us.
A spark that changed both health and home.
I saw that was my ticket to finally move up to Minnesota.
Which they did, settling up on the Iron Range, where Pete now creates camp gear from a most unique form of metal.
This is my raw stock here. It's a high-strength titanium alloy. Titanium actually weighs more than aluminum, but the way that titanium wins is it can be much thinner. It's a love-hate relationship, really. It's very difficult to work with, but once you've mastered it and really understand of how it likes to be worked, it's much easier. When I weld, I have to have a third of a thickness of a dime between the torch and the part. And too much caffeine makes it a little shaky. I want it optically perfect. If it's a little off, everyone will see it, and it bothers me.
Pete's passion, crafted from his love of camp and engineering.
He's a man of many talents, and he's got a lot going on up here. It's crazy. This garage is nuts.
If it doesn't catch, then I know that it's safe for the customer.
How's that feel?
Feels great. Real proud of every one of them that leaves the shop.
Saws bagged up, and each sale sweetened too.
I ship a piece of candy with every order, and it just brightens their day.
Camp sauce crafted a cut above, just the way Pete dreamed all this up.
It's fantastic. Living the dream, I really am.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Star Bank, Rapid Marine family of dealerships, and by Flow Docks and Lifts.
Hey, Bill, mind if I throw in a load of delicates? Your Connecticut water makes things so nice and soft.
Sure.
Game day.
Oh, boys, cleats off.
I knew you'd understand. Say, Bill.
Travis, get your own Connecticut.
Connecticut, the world's most efficient water treatment system.
That's fine. I always wanted my own Connecticut water system. Can I at least get that number?
Ron Shera here. Just thinking about fishing, thinking about why Star Bank is our bank at Ron Shera Productions. You see, Star Bank is family owned. Therefore, you are treated like family. Call Star Bank, a person answers. Walk into Star Bank, they know your name. Star Bank is growing, now 11 locations in Minnesota. The latest is in Hancock and Stevens County. Yeah, Star Bank makes you feel good in many ways, just like a fish on the end of my line. Oh yeah.
Member FDIC.
Time on the water is good for our families, our friendships, and it's good for our souls. That's why Rapid Marine remains committed to helping anglers and boaters get on the water and stay on the water. At 4 convenient Minnesota locations, their professional sales team and service techs are ready to handle all of your boating needs. Their showrooms are stocked with the state's largest inventory of new and used boats. At Rapid Marine, it's their mission to help you make memories on the water.
Flow aluminum dock systems are made to bring time at the lake to a whole new level. You can create any layout you want and accessorize it for comfort and fun. They're strong, stable, safe, and they add a beautiful touch to your shoreline that will last for a very long time. Maybe it's time to join the thousands of other families that have turned their dock into a shoreline paradise. Maybe it's time for a Flow.
We love Minnesota's 64 state parks. And you might not know this, but a couple of them have a very unique resource. They are called Heritage Lakes, and we visited one of them to understand the history. Wicked are the winters of Minnesota. Even so, some people choose to explore. Exactly why Glendilo's gates stay open.
This is my 21st year here, and I've seen the park grow immensely during that time. It's no longer quite the secret it was.
Glendilo sits tucked away in central Minnesota, a pristine park made up of prairies and lakes.
Time to get out of the car clothes.
We visit for the trails, more specifically, where they lead.
Well, it's 32 and sunny, and we've got a 2-mile trail. We should probably go see what it looks like.
And in the winter, we have the have really nice skiing trails.
lake's still there. Maybe halfway.
We get the cross-country skiers and the snowshoers, which are ever increasing every year. It's a 2-mile hike. We do pack a trail so they can walk it. We do provide sleds so they can pull a sled.
We wind through maple forests on the Annie Battle Lake Trail.
I see something.
We come for adventure, but stay for the yurt. A home away from home of sorts.
Wow. Huh. Winter camping, huh?
There's only 3 parks that have the yurts. They have soft sides. If you're in a yurt, you're hearing everything. You're hearing the owls at night. You're hearing the coyotes howling. You get to hear all those nature noises while you're in the yurt. In the winter, they're heated with a wood stove, so that's a little more primitive, and that's kind of goes with the theme of our park. It's pretty nice and peaceful.
Because these shelters sit along Annie Battle Lake, designated and protected as a Minnesota Heritage Lake.
The Heritage Lake refers to special regulations that don't allow any types of motors on the lake, not even electric motors. There's no electronics.
This is the definition of fishing blindly.
You can't use cameras or fish finders, or even you're not supposed to use GPS. The idea was to create a fishing experience that was similar to what it would have been like 100 years ago.
It is desolate.
And it's really nice because you can fish out there. It's always very quiet. Really, there's enough fish in that lake all over the place that most of the time you see the fishing pressure is really spread out.
I am 0 for 2 on Heritage Lakes.
Out here, alone, you feel like the only person for 100 miles. Isn't that why we covet such spots? Strange to think that years ago, Annie Battle seemed a very different destination.
Glendalough was once owned by the Minneapolis Star Tribune. This was a hunting camp down here during the fall. Star Tribune would invite lots of their advertisers here for a weekend.
Other influential people loved Glendalough too.
The plaque was here. It says, "I come here often to find myself. It's so easy to get lost in the world."
The mantra of Glendalough, the perfect place to find yourself by getting lost.
There's nothing like it anywhere else in the state. Glendalough just kind of grows on you.
From the snow and cold to the heat of the Keys, Ron Shera heads south for a little bit of fun under the sun.
Closed captioning provided by Clamshell Beach Resort.
You know, in Minnesota, up north is a magical place. Cabin life, fishing, boating, relaxing, making family memories. Hi, I'm Ron Shera, here to tell you about a new, affordable way to enjoy the magic. I found it here at Clamshell Beach Resort, located on the Whitefish chain. Clamshell offers lake homes with deeded fractional ownership, which means you can own and enjoy the resort without the hassle of maintenance and worry. Go to cottagesonwhitefish.com to start creating your own family memories.
My dad just loves winter fishing trips down south. Today he's exploring the Florida Keys, where he just happened to run into a former Minnesota Twin fan favorite.
While the Florida Keys are famed for scenic splendor, sunsets, and key lime pie, there's more to discover. For example, if you happen to stop at Lisa Lee's art studio in Isla Mirada. Lisa's artistry is fishing and historic.
It all started centuries ago with Japanese fishermen as a way to keep record of their catch. Most of these species in here I've caught. So being an artist and a fisherman over the years, I thought, you know what? I really enjoy this style of art.
Lisa began studying and learning the Japanese fish imaging process called gyotaku. Very simply, a fish is painted with ink on one side and covered with rice paper to create a fish print.
Oh, God. Oh, that's good. So pretty. And what's neat is if it is your fish, you can see everything from like a gaff mark or where it was hooked, or if it has an interesting fin, something unique to it. It takes me about 4 to 6 weeks to detail it fully. So here's an African pompano. This is it in full color. And then before I paint the color, here it is in just black and white, with the eye done.
I'm guessing you know your fish.
I do, I fish a lot. I know all of these fish.
Indeed, her gallery could be a fish museum. All kinds of big and small with prices to match. So there's more to it than just slapping some paper on these fish.
Yes, there's a lot more to it. I'd say for every 100 prints I do, I really love about 10 of them, and maybe 2 of those make them into frames.
Hey Lisa, any gyotaku fish a Minnesotan might know?
It's my walleye, my first one.
Speaking of fish in Minnesota, there's a former Minnesotan who lives in the Keys for one reason: chasing sailfish.
Been coming down here since I was probably 5. Moved here full-time in about 2008, 2009.
Your fishing passion, is that a new thing with you?
No, the passion from fishing started on Lake Erie with my dad. Was a charter skipper on the weekends for walleye in Lake Erie.
Today, his Keys life is fishing boats and fishing strikes.
My winters here are nothing but bait fishing and sail fishing.
The name Doug Minkiewicz may ring a bell with Twins fans.
I was just very lucky to be drafted by that organization. They're really into family. I was fortunate to play with not only great players, but great people.
For nearly 6 seasons, Minkiewicz was the Twins' first baseman. In 2004, he was traded to the Red Sox, where he won a World Series ring.
My biggest regret out of probably my whole entire career is not bringing a championship to Minnesota.
Further down Highway 1 to Marathon,
a wreck diver style,
we met John Mirabella, owner of Castaway, a waterfront restaurant and sushi bar.
1 order of lionfish sashimi and 1 order of lionfish nigiri.
Lionfish? Yes, the Castaway is famed for serving lionfish, an invasive species harming other fish life in the ocean reefs.
And here in the middle, you have the world-famous lionfish king of the jungle roll.
While the lionfish has made his restaurant famous, what's interesting is John Mirabella, an avid diver, is leading a campaign to eliminate or reduce lionfish populations in the Keys.
We believe that they showed up in the ballast water of ships that came through the Panama Canal. And I remember the first time we saw one. Oh, there's a lionfish, and let's kill it. And the next year, we started seeing more of them, so we started spearing them, and we've always had a rule on our boat: if we kill it, we eat it.
You could say the rest is history.
We created a demand that we didn't have before, a demand for lionfish. We've cleaned a lot of our reef up, now we're cleaning other people's reefs.
So eat a lionfish, save an ocean reef.
It's all here.
Straight ahead, we go back in time with Minnesota's top sports show.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Leech Lake Tourism, Premier Marine, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Are you ready for your next summer adventure? Don't drag your feet. Check into paradise at legendary Leech Lake. Leech has built a reputation for amazing family vacations. Over 195 miles of shoreline and some of the best fishing in Minnesota. Activities for the whole family, too. Parks and trails for hiking and biking, shopping, dining, and gaming await you as well in Walker. There are over 30 family resorts and hotels waiting for you this summer at Leech Lake. So drop into summer and book your vacation today at leechlakeoutdoors.com.
No matter how you do water, there's a Premier pontoon for you. Because Premier pontoons are the best riding, best built, and have the best technology in the industry, with countless floor plans to choose from and exclusive award-winning innovations like Revolution seating and Troll and Stow. So whether you're looking for your first pontoon or your next, look to Premier.
Back in the day, my dad and I always made it downtown for the sports show. It was almost like a holiday for us.
Same with my dad, who goes back in time at the show.
It comes to the Minneapolis Convention Center once a year, just like Christmas. Oh, what a gift it is, the Northwest Sports Show. This is the 69th annual. It means for 69 years, our snow-weary spirits have been uplifted here amid these many displays that beckon and remind us of warmer memories. So let's face it, our resistance is weak. After a long winter, all of these fishing getaways look great. Sign me up, need a deposit? But you know, the real advantage of a sports show is comparison shopping. It's all here under one roof.
That's just a whisper. Quick.
Another question on the minds of anglers, boaters, and the like is, what's new? The sports show tries to have the answer.
The titanium reels, the biggest problem you have in bail springs is the bail spring or the bail itself always bent. With a titanium bail, you don't have to worry about that. You can sit on it, you can drop it, do the whole works.
What this is a new product for drop shotting. And how drop shotting works is you drop a sinker of your design weight all the way to the bottom, and you run this bait on a three-way swivel or tie it directly 18 inches, maybe 2 feet above. Wherever you feel you're above the weeds, that's where you'll connect to your bite in it.
It's a tube, cylindrical, it fits right on our rod holders, but when you're ready to catch a big fish, you just open it up and you've got your net. Your landing net is right there. And the nice thing is it collapses in, and it's also your extra paddle. We have the paddle head. It can be detached and located in the front.
It's the Spore Boy mushroom collection bag, and as you're picking your mushrooms, you put them in this bag. Everywhere you walk, you drop the seed. 250,000 to 500,000 spore in the cap of every single mushroom. So there's a whole bunch of spore, a whole bunch of seed. And when you've got these mushrooms in your bag, as you're walking around, everywhere you walk, you're dropping, you're planting.
We've got a 6.5-foot cargo carrier. If you release the tail light assembly, pull the rails out, turn them upside down, you've got a camping platform. And with the camping platform, you can pull your tent up on it. The tent is completely removable from the camping platform, and you've got yourself a 13-foot boat.
So that's what this is all about. It's a giant wish book, a book you can walk around in while you're wishing. I'm Ron Chera, Minnesota Bound.
My sister and I also grew up going to the sports show with my dad. There's so many memories there.
Remember the bear?
I remember the bear, the seal.
Well, that about does it for us. We hope to see you back here next week.
In the meantime, remember to introduce a kid to the great outdoors. Maybe you could be at the show.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.